Orange democratic movement is tearing at the seams, and the fight is no longer about policy or strategy. It is about who gets to define what the party legendary founder truly wanted before his death. On Saturday, February 7, 2026, ODM issued a statement on the surface appeared to routine administrative clarification, but in reality represent a desperate attempt to regain control over a party identity that has fractured since the passing of Raila Odinga. The public disowning of businessman Oketch Salah exposed just how dangerous blurred the lines have become between officials' party position and personnel interpretation of Raila's political will. The statement, signed by National Chairperson Gladys Wanga and posted on the party's official social media account, was unambiguous in its intent. ODM declared that any activity, statements, or engagements undertaken by Oketch Salah are carried out strictly in his personal capacity and do not represent or bind the Orange Democratic Movement in any manner. The party emphasized that all official activities must receive approval from the party secretary with clearance from the leadership currently headed by Oburu Oginga. This insistence of a bureaucratic protocol that are merely maintaining organization discipline, it was about wrestling back narrative control from individuals who claim privileged access to Raila's final wishes. The immediate trigger for this public rebuke occurred on February 6 when Salah organized an event at the Kenyatta International Convention Center that sent shockwave through ODM's grassroots base. Participants at this gathering wore t-shirts and caps branded with ODM iconic orange colors, but with a jarring addition that many loyalties found deeply offensive. The portrait of a President William Ruto for a party built on decades of opposition to the political establishment that Ruto now represents, the fusion of Orange Party regalia with the president's image felt like a betrayal of everything ODM had historically stood for. The visual symbolic was impossible to ignore. ODM colors, which had been worn proudly during countless battles against state power, were now being deployed to promote the very leader that the party had opposed. Saboti, Member of Parliament Caleb Amisi, articulated the confusion and anger felt by many party members when he questioned when the National Delegates Convention had met and approved the printing of a party merchandise bearing Ruto's image. This question went to the heart of the legitimacy crisis now facing ODM, who has the authority to make such fundamental decisions about the party's identity and political direction. Amisi intervention highlighted that there had been no formal party process approving this dramatic shift in messaging. Yet someone was acting as though they had the mandate to redefine what ODM represents. At the center of this controversy stands Oketch Salah, a businessman who has styled himself as Raila Odinga's adopted son and claims to possess unique insights into the late leader's final political intention. For months, Salah has been sharing what he insists were private conversations with the late Raila Odinga, including discussions that allegedly took place while they were together in India. According to Salah's version of events, Raila wanted a strengthened ODM that would eventually endorse President Ruto for re-election in 2027. This narrative directly contradicts the position held by many senior party figures who insist that Raila's final instruction was for ODM to maintain its independence and field its own presidential candidate in 2027. Salah has not limited his controversial statement to matters of party strategy. He also launched pointed attacks against Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna, claiming that Raila suspected Sifuna of being someone's mole within the party. Salah has suggested that recent events have vindicated these alleged suspicions or suspicious, positioning himself as the guardian of Raila's true legacy while casting doubts on the loyalty of established party leaders. This accusation represents a direct challenge to the authority of ODM's institutional leadership and creates deep division within the party ranks. The response from Raila's biological children has been swift and evocative. East African Legislative Assembly Member of Parliament Winnie Odinga dismissed Salah's account as a complete fabrication, asserting that she, not Salah, was at her final side during his final moment. This personal testimony carries enormous weight as it comes from someone with the undeniable biological and emotional connection to the late leader. Raila Odinga Jr. supported his sister's position, characterizing Salah's claims as nonsense. The intervention of Raila's children in this public dispute underscores how deeply personal and painful this battle over legacy has become. Mumias East Member of Parliament Peter Salasha entered the fray by defending the loyalty of Winnie Odinga and Jr. while simultaneously making critical remarks about the spirit of Baba one day, revealing the full truth. This invocation of spiritual revelation speaks to the almost mystical status that Raila continues to hold within ODM even after his death. He also illustrated how compelling functions are reaching any resource of authority, biological, kinship, claim, inmates, conversation, and even spiritual communication to legitimize their particular interpretation of what Raila wanted for the party's future. The formal statement from ODM reveals how porous the party internal boundaries have become in the absence of a charismatic founding leader. Without Raila to personally adjudicate, dispute, and define the party's line, ODM is struggling with the fundamental questions of authority and legitimacy. On one side, area figures like Salah, outsiders, claim intimate access to Raila's thinking and pushing a narrative of accommodation within the Kenya Kwanza government. On the other hand, stand-long party insiders like Sifuna, Siaya Governor James Orengo, and Amisi, who insist that Raila's final instruction was for ODM to remain independent and oppositional.